What if I told you that with just 5 easy steps, you could solidify your future of becoming a millionaire? And what if I also told you that by following these 5 easy steps, in as little as a week, you could be ahead of as much as 50% of Americans? It sounds too good to be true, right? But it's not. Today I'm going to go over these 5 steps with you. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, my name is Justin Cassidy, and I'm a software engineer by trade, but for the last decade or so, I've really taken a particular interest in personal finance, wealth building, investing, and everything in between. You know, once I started getting the larger paychecks, I quickly thought to myself, okay, what do I do with this money now? I don't know what to do with it.
That's just dadgum stupid!
Over the last decade or so, I've studied several books, videos, everything I can to kind of grow my knowledge on this subject. And over those years, I've had several friends and family members reach out to me asking for advice on some of this stuff. And it still to this day boggles my mind with the wealth of information that's out there, that there's still people that just don't know what to do in this arena. They're just completely lost. And so that's what I kind of want to help, is to spread some of this information so that no one lacks in the personal finance department. So let's get into these 5 steps. Step number 1, if your company offers a 401k match, take advantage of it. When we think of the stock market, typically we say over a long period of time in a well-diversified portfolio, we typically say 10 to 12% is a really good return over a long period of time, 10 to 12% per year. If your employer offers a dollar for dollar match, that's an immediate 100% return on your investment.
Wow.
And then in addition to that, you're compounding interest on top of that already 100% match. Even if your employer offers a 50% match, again, that's still an immediate 50% return. Now, some people are confused about what to invest in, and this keeps them from contributing to a 401k. Luckily, you don't have to know what to invest in. Most of these retirement plans offer what's called a target date fund. You simply pick the year you plan to retire, and the fund takes care of all that for you. They diversify your portfolio. As you get older, they'll move money out of more risky things like stocks into bonds. And then if you're young and you still want to be a little more ambitious but well diversified, just pick a broad market index fund like an S&P 500 index fund or a total market fund. Those are still great picks. You don't have to actively manage it, but they'll have good returns and you stay well diversified. Another consideration is a conventional pre-tax 401k versus a post-tax Roth 401k. I'll do another video on that to get into more of the specifics on it. But honestly, for now, this is a video for complete beginners. I don't want you guys to get too hung up on that because I don't want you to overthink it and not start investing in this. The main thing is to start investing early and often. And I'll give you an example why. Let's say we have Bob, who has just got his first job at 21 years old. He's making $40,000 a year. His employer offers a 100% match up to 6% of his income. He does that. He does the 6% into his 401k. That comes out to only $200 a month. If he does that, and let's say that Bob never gets a raise his entire working life until he retires at 65 years old. So he stays at $40,000, he contributes at $200 a month every month. With his employer match and compounding interest, by the time he reaches 65 years old for retirement, he will have almost $3.5 million in a retirement account. Now, I don't know about you, but a $3.5 million nest egg sounds pretty good to me. So if your company offers a 401k match, take advantage of it. Step number 2, stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. I read an article not too long ago from Time magazine that said 51% of Americans making $100,000 per year or more live paycheck to paycheck. Another article from CBS News, Americans owe a record $986 billion in credit card debt. And lastly, an article from Fortune magazine states that 57% of Americans had less than $1,000 in a savings account. So what does this mean? Well, it means your neighbor
Idly-ho, neighborino!
that drives around in their fancy new car, goes on lavish vacations, buys new furniture every other month. Well, I'll tell you a secret. They're actually broke and probably drowning in debt.
I'm in debt up to my eyeballs.
And they're probably one financial hardship away from complete disaster. Keeping up with the Jones syndrome is a real thing, but realize this is just keeping up with who has the most consumer debt. And once you realize that, you'll start to see the bigger picture. And at the end of the day, do you want to look wealthy or do you want to actually be wealthy? So stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Step number 3, cut your expenses. You go to Starbucks every morning before work. You have a gym membership for a gym that you haven't stepped foot in months. You still have that Paramount Plus subscription waiting for the new season of Yellowstone to show back up.
You and I find ourselves in an interesting situation.
Get rid of these things. These things do add up, and I'm not telling you to cut out everything that brings happiness in your life, but I think we can all agree, every person has unnecessary expenses that can be cut out. Easiest is to start with dining out all the time. Services on autopay that you never even really use and have kind of forgot about. Try negotiating things like your cable bill or cell phone bill, or maybe even cut your cable bill out completely. There's a baseline budget rule called the 50-30-20 rule that I like to follow, and it goes like this. 50% of your net income should go towards your essential living expenses. These are things like your rent, mortgage, car payment, utilities, groceries, etc. 30% should go towards your wants. That's things like, vacations, tech gadgets, shopping sprees, dining out, concerts, etc. And then finally, the last 20% should go towards savings and investing. And then if you have debt, putting some of that towards your extra debt payments to try to get that stuff paid off. Cut out unnecessary expenses. All right, step 4 is going to be increase your income. So if you've already cut out a lot of excess things out of your life, but you're still running pretty tight margins, it may be time to look into increasing your income.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
There's several ways that this can be done. First, learn new skills. I mean, it's 2023, the internet is available. You can learn pretty much anything that you want to. Learn how to write code on a computer, learn how to use Microsoft Excel, get on YouTube, watch videos about pretty much anything that you want to do. There's websites like Pluralsight is another example. It's a paid website, but you can learn just about anything. So you don't even necessarily have to go to college to learn new skills. Just start teaching yourself stuff. Read books on the subjects. Another way, switch jobs or companies. Studies have shown that up to 50% of people that switch companies have received a pretty sizable raise. Ask your current employer for a raise. The worst they can do is say no, right? You could also look into getting, a second job or a side hustle if all else fails. Something like door dashing, mowing some yards, handyman work, freelance, just about anything really, just to get some extra income coming in. Once you have this excess income, now you can start investing outside of your 401k. This opens lots of opportunities because now you can invest in, an IRA, which is an individual retirement account, a taxable brokerage account. You can start saving up, getting into real estate investing. The possibilities are endless. But the main thing is now you can pay yourself first. There's a book that I read a long time ago that I really like. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And that is the first principle in that book is to pay yourself first. So increase your income if you can. All right, and then last but certainly not least, we have step 5, and that is have an emergency fund. Life happens. It's inevitable that you're going to have something come up on your wealth building journey. You could have a blowout and you need tires on your vehicle, a hot water heater goes out, your AC goes out, an unexpected medical expense comes up.
Quarantine you.
Ouch.
What do you, no? Okay, I see your fingers falling off.
Ouch.
No, don't do that though, that's not.
If you remember that statistic that I mentioned earlier about all of the Americans that don't have even $1,000 in savings, don't be one of these people. You need reserves so that in the event that something does happen, you don't have to resort to credit cards or predatory lending to cover this.
Shockingly high interest rates, often as much as 400%.
Start small with just $1,000, which that's actually what Dave Ramsey recommends. Eventually, you need to go to a fully funded 3 to 6 months emergency fund. Now, the important thing about this is an emergency fund, so it's only to be touched in emergencies, not when you want to redo your kitchen.
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
So have an emergency fund. So there you have it, guys and gals. That's 5 simple steps that you can do to pretty much guarantee that by the time you retire, not only will you be a millionaire, you're going to be better off than over 50% of Americans. And really, if you follow these 5 steps, you're going to be better off than 50% of Americans financially in just a couple weeks. So best of luck to you. Write down in the comments which of these steps you guys have already started doing. As always, like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps get the word out about financial wellness to people. And until next time.